Namaste. I'm Alakanandama, Ayurvedic doctor and principal of Alandi Ayurveda Gurukula, a unique apprenticeship-style Ayurveda school in Boulder, Colorado. So last week we were talking about seed oils. Let's continue thinking about fats by asking whether milk should be skim or low fat or full fat. It's kind of looking like Maha is telling us to have full fat milk, although that's not really the case if you delve a little deeper into the recommendations. So, whether your milk should be skim or whole milk, amazingly enough, that depends on who you are. Specifically, it depends on what else you're eating and what your constitution is. Whole milk is a natural food. Humans have been drinking milk since the dawn of civilization. Civilization started to happen as we domesticated cattle and could drink their milk, and then we had to spend less time on finding food day by day, and we could put more time into building cities and developing an array of arts and crafts and sciences and so on. So we've been drinking milk for a long time. Growing up in my small town, Melton Mowbray in Leicestershire, every day we had whole, unpasteurized, unhomogenized Jersey milk. It was totally fine for it to be raw milk because it was a TT attested herb. So it was a herd of cows from which you could definitely not get bovine tuberculosis. And all of us drank that beautiful, delicious whole milk. And it had the foil gold tops, but the blue tits also thought the cream was really good, and very often they would peck through those gold foil tops and they would slurp up the cream before we got the cream. But we enjoyed our raw, whole Jersey milk from just around down the road from the beautiful green pastures and delivered on a milk float, which was an electric vehicle. Amazing, isn't it? Way back in the 50s. Yes, that's what we had. So whole milk, especially unpasteurized whole milk, if you can get it, especially unhomogenized whole milk, is a natural food that humans have had for thousands of years, and that is highly recommended in the text of Ayurveda as a divine nectar. That doesn't mean everyone should drink tons and tons of glasses of cold milk, though. First of all, whether you should have the whole milk or the skim milk, which is also something that humans have been creating for thousands of years by putting the milk out and skimming off the cream. Whether you should have whole milk or skim milk really depends on what else you're eating. If you're eating the way I've been recommending, either not eating meat or eating very limited quantities of meat, having eggs, either not at all or only 3 eggs a week, if that's the way you're eating, you can also include whole milk in your diet with the caveats that I'm about to get to in a few minutes about your constitution. But if you are following a standard American diet with loads and loads of meat, often meat products several times a day, maybe you should stick with skim milk because you're already going over the top on animal fats. Okay? Maybe you should stick with low-fat yogurt. The texts of Ayurveda say that non-fat yogurt is not a good food, but low-fat yogurt made from skim milk, that's okay. So, partly it depends on your diet. What's the other thing we have to think about? Your constitution. If you are Vata, and if you're eating the way I've been telling you to eat for all these years, then enjoy as much full-fat dairy as you feel like enjoying and as you feel that you can digest. But don't drink cold milk. Ice cold milk is very indigestible. You got to warm the milk. Don't drink it right out of the fridge. Don't drink an ice cold milkshake. No, no. If you are pitta, that full fat, that whole milk is very pitta soothing, but you got to remember, pitta is a little bit oily. So just notice how much yogurt, how much whole milk, properly warmed, spiced, and so on, feels right for me. If it's making me feel a little nauseated or a little uncomfortable, maybe I should back away. But if it's just feeling, this is calming my pitta, then enjoy it. But again, if you're following a standard American diet, just go with the skim milk, okay? If you are kapha, I'm sorry, but the properties, the gunas of milk and of kapha are more or less identical. So if you're taking dairy products, you're adding like to like, you're making yourself more and more kapha. So we're generally speaking, say for kapha, the only dairy products you can have are ghee, goat milk, and a little goat cheeses. Sorry, but that is actually how it is for your kapha. We don't want you eating loads of meat and tons of eggs either. We want you to eat vegetables, vegetables, vegetables. A lighter and drier and a little crisper diet, as we've been saying again for all these years. So there's no one size fits all. It depends on what your diet is. It depends on what your constitution is. It depends on how you're feeling from day to day. How do I feel when I drink the milk? If I drink the milk and it's calming my vata, it's calming my pitta, it feels good, it feels soothing, and I can digest it, wonderful. If it's like, maybe I shouldn't have done that, just either don't have the milk or have the skim milk. Okay, so I hope this helps. In Ayurveda, it's not one size fits all. One man's meat is another man's poison. We judge everything according to your diet, your lifestyle, and your constitution. And, of course, the season of the year as well. Hope this helps. Don't forget to click the like button, join the channel if you haven't already. Tell your friends about the channel, and we'll see you next week. Namaste.